But can you tell me what the LGBT community is like in Texas? Anyone wants to start?
Well, it really depends on the part of Texas that you're in. I would say that Lubbock and West Texas are very different in general compared to the rest of Texas. And the LGBT community is just as different comparatively. I would say that the LGBT community in Lubbock is kind of quiet, not really as advocating as much as you might see in larger cities. There are fewer, I would say, resources in Lubbock than there are, say, in Austin or Dallas. There are fewer social places for LGBT people to go in Lubbock. But overall, I think there's a small group of very active, committed people here in town.
And are people out here? I mean, is it more often that gay people are out than in the closet?
I think that depends generations. I find that the younger generation are much more comfortable with being out, that they've come out to their parents at a much younger age than any of us in an older generation would think about. And I find that the older generation, probably 40s and up, are a lot more cautious about that, depending on their occupations and friends, families, all of that, depending on where they're at with it, but much more cautious.
I'd also say the older generation is less out at work because they just see it as, well, that's none of my employer's business, whereas the younger generation is, I'm not going to hide this from anyone, even my employers.
And I would say from the parent standpoint that at PFLAG we're having a lot more parents coming to us with children coming out at 14, 15, 16, and they're coming to us for help, where that hasn't always been the case. So I agree that the younger people are coming out earlier. I think parents, I'm encouraged that parents are coming to PFLAG to seek help instead of closing the door. However, we still do have a lot of kids, I think, that face that door closing kind of, we're going to kick you out thing. And I think Renee can speak to that some too, because she sees more of that with the church connection. I would also say that I think West Texas is different in the LGBT community also, because this is a very religiously conservative area. And even though we have some churches that are accepting and welcoming in our community, they are few. And then we have a few churches that are trying to be accepting, but it's just pockets of people. But for the most part, this is a very religiously conservative area, has always been. And they're not interested in changing their minds.